There's something almost stubborn about the Porsche 911 GT2 RS. The car came out in 2017, production wrapped up in 2019, and yet here it is in 2024, still going around circuits, faster than machines that weren't even designed when it first appeared. The latest reminder of this came at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, where a 2019 GT2 RS, fitted with the Manthey kit and a set of road-legal Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 RN0 tires, posted a lap time of 122.649. Officially the fastest any production car has ever gone around that circuit. Age apparently is not slowing this thing down. The record it broke belonged to the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1, which had come through with a 122.82 and made a lot of noise doing it. The Corvette makes 1,064 horsepower and costs significantly less than most of the European machinery it regularly gets compared against. So when it took the Road Atlanta record, it was genuinely meaningful. Porsche taking it back with a car that's been out of production for several years by a margin of just under 0.2 of a second is the kind of thing that probably stings a little in Detroit. 0.2 doesn't sound like much until you understand what Road Atlanta actually demands from a car. And then it sounds like quite a lot. Road Atlanta is 2.54 miles of track that doesn't forgive sloppy preparation. It combines serious elevation changes with high-speed corners and braking zones that can expose weaknesses in aerodynamics or chassis balance almost instantly. Horsepower helps, but it isn't close to the whole story there. The circuit rewards cars that are properly sorted, ones that generate real downforce, change direction cleanly, and inspire enough confidence in the driver to actually use what's available. Porsche has treated the venue seriously for years, using it to demonstrate the capability of everything from the Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid to the Cayenne Turbo GT. The GT2 RS Manthey is now sitting at the top of that list. To understand why this matters, it's worth going back to what the GT2 RS actually is. The 9912 generation car was already extraordinary when it launched. The engine is a 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged flat-six, making 700 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque, driving the rear wheels only, through a 7-speed PDK dual-clutch gearbox. Porsche quoted 0 to 60 miles per hour in around 2.7 seconds, and a top speed just shy of 211 miles per hour. At launch, it was the most powerful production 911 ever made, and it felt like it. Fast in a way that requires real respect, not the kind of car that flatters in attention. It was already well capable of embarrassing purpose-built track cars on the right day. The Manthey kit takes all of that and pushes further, though not in the direction you might expect. There's no power upgrade. Manthey Racing, which Porsche has a partial ownership stake in, looked at the GT2 RS and decided the engine was already doing its job well enough. What the car needed was help everywhere else. The result is a package built almost entirely around aerodynamics and chassis optimization, revised aero components that substantially increase downforce, suspension tuning that handles curb strikes without unsettling the car, and a wheel and tire setup dialed specifically for track use. Porsche confirmed that the Manthey-equipped car improved on the standard GT2 RS's Road Atlanta time by 2.2 seconds, using the same tire model. That's a significant gap, and it came entirely from balance and grip rather than any additional horsepower. Jörg Bergmeister drove the record lap. That choice wasn't accidental. He's a former Porsche factory driver, widely considered one of the most experienced people on Earth when it comes to getting the most out of a track-focused 911. His assessment of the GT2 RS afterward was straightforward. The car remains deeply impressive, even now. He talked about the twin-turbo engine's delivery, which he described as relentless once you're committed to a corner exit, and about how much confidence the Manthey aerodynamic package generates through fast corners. According to him, the downforce the car produces starts to feel closer to what you'd expect from a GT-class race car than a road-legal machine. The suspension's ability to absorb aggressive curb strikes without losing composure was another thing he highlighted, a quality that matters enormously on a circuit like Road Atlanta, where exploiting the whole track width often means using the curbs rather than avoiding them. The brakes held up well throughout too. Porsche didn't just bring the GT2 RS to Road Atlanta for the day. They also brought Manthey-equipped versions of the current 911 GT3 RS and the updated 911 GT3, presumably to show that the Manthey philosophy scales across the lineup, rather than applying only to the flagship. Both cars went faster than their standard counterparts by meaningful margins. The GT3 RS Manthey reportedly lapped in 1:23.032, which makes it the quickest naturally aspirated production car to have turned a lap at the circuit. The new GT3 with the Manthey package posted 1:24.639. Neither of those times is incidental. They put both cars clearly ahead of where production machines have typically landed at Road Atlanta, and they reinforce the point that the aerodynamic and suspension work Manthey is doing translates to real-world lap time reductions. Manthey Racing's trajectory over the past decade is interesting in its own right. The company built its name through endurance racing, particularly at the Nürburgring 24 Hours, where it developed a reputation for meticulous preparation and consistent results. That expertise in understanding what track conditions demand from a car, and how to prepare one to handle those demands across long stints rather than single flying laps, eventually fed into the performance upgrade packages they now offer. The Nordschleife connection has always been a big part of the GT2 RS story. In 2018, a Manthey-prepared car lapped the full 12.9-mile circuit in 6:40.33, which reclaimed the production car lap record and put the car in a category occupied by very few road-legal machines before or since. The Road Atlanta result fits within that same narrative, extending a record-setting resume that now spans multiple continents and circuit types. For American buyers, there's a practical angle to all of this as well. Porsche has confirmed that certified dealerships across the United States can now install these factory-approved Manthey packages, which means the upgrade path is officially supported, rather than requiring owners to source components independently. The GT2 RS kit carries an MSRP above $113,000, and the GT3 RS package runs slightly higher. Neither is a casual expenditure, and the GT2 RS itself is no longer in production, so the conversation is primarily relevant to existing owners rather than new buyers. But the fact that Porsche is backing this through its dealer network, with factory-level integration and support, is significant. It's not a gray area modification. It's an official continuation of the car's development. The broader context around the Road Atlanta record is worth considering too. The Corvette ZR1's time had generated real attention because of what it represented. American horsepower at a price point that undercuts most European competition, going toe-to-toe with the best in the world and winning. Porsche taking the record back with a 6-year-old platform is a pointed response to that, and it says something specific. That the GT2 RS and its relationship with Manthey Racing have produced something that newer, more powerful machines are still struggling to match at specific circuits on specific days. That resilience also carries a quieter message about engineering philosophy. The GT2 RS doesn't use hybrid assistance. It doesn't distribute torque across 4 driven wheels. It's rear-wheel drive, combustion-powered, and relies on aerodynamic downforce and mechanical grip to do what it does. As the industry moves steadily toward electrification and all-wheel drive becomes the default answer for performance at the highest level, the GT2 RS sits as a counter-argument. Evidence that getting the fundamentals right and then refining them obsessively through a partnership like the one Porsche has with Manthey can still beat systems with more technological complexity baked in. None of this means the approach scales indefinitely. There will eventually be a production car at Road Atlanta, or the Nürburgring, or somewhere else that matters, that the GT2 RS can't touch. But the fact that it hasn't happened yet, that a car designed and built in the mid-2010s is still sitting at the top of production car timing sheets in the mid-2020s, is genuinely remarkable. Porsche built something with enough depth that continued development has kept it relevant well past the point when most performance cars start to feel dated. That's harder to do than it looks. And the Road Atlanta record is the latest proof of it.